Anyway, so this is gooey duck clams. Now okay, these are sustainable.
Yes.
What's so interesting about these is sometimes they can get, as big as 15.
This is the part too, because when you dip it in the water, the boiling water, then the skin comes off like this. Is that wild?
Now food is very sexual, for sure.
That is the
For sure, but that is about the extreme, isn't it?
I gotta say.
And then just now you're going to take a knife to it. I mean,
It is, that's
even
that's the
worse.
part that they really couldn't take. It is the most delicious clams. They are so yummy. We make a clam chowder. We're going to show you how to make it right now. But it's really delicious, and unfortunately, did you want a picture of that?
Where do you find them?
You can get them at Japanese markets, or I'm sure Santa Monica Seafood has it. But now these grow to be like 150 years old. They can. And sometimes the shells are, this big. They can, what was the name?
They'll get to be, 6-8 feet long, the neck itself. They can live to be 150 years old. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
And you see that there's a lot of meat in that clam, and the juices are delicious too. It is I think it's my favorite clam to eat, and I love clams, all clams.
So again, we're starting off, we're making a clam chowder. So
Unfortunately, did you tell them the price?
yeah, these were quite expensive. These two, we had two of them this size. They were how much, Ray? $70 for this.
This is $35 right here.
So it's expensive. But you could make the same recipe with frozen clams. And then you don't have to,
quite the same.
make your husband nervous. Okay. So we've got, like Mary Sue told you, we take an onion, always lay anything we're cutting on its flat side, not on the curved side because you don't want it to roll around. On its flat side with your sharp knife, again, Mary Sue and I dice our onions opposite. I tend to do them like Julia Child did. If she does them, I don't know. But, we argue about who does them properly.
Well, mine always look prettier, so.
So again, it's with these fingertips bent under. We're making these horizontal cuts. Lay your hand again on top of the onion. Not this way, but on top so you don't cut through your hand. Horizontal cuts, that's 2 cuts. And then here's your third. And this is the diced onion that's going in the chowder. Start there with a little bit of butter or a little bit of olive oil.
Now, I actually eat the whole clam. There's nothing in it that doesn't taste good, to me. But you just have to chop it up, the whole thing, just like that. Have you guys had giant clam sushi? That's made out of this. But not the stomach part, just the foot. What's that foot? It's a funny thing. All right.
So we've got those onions, they're not quite cooking yet. We're gonna add a little bit of salt. We always have a little bowl of salt sitting by the side, whether it's kosher salt or sea salt, not a shaker. Put that in the pan.
Oh dear.
And hope that it cooks.
That burner's
That's
tired.
not quite there either. Let's see if this one's any better. Put that there.
Okay.
And then we're taking, and this is just like you make any soup. This is a very simple chowder. You could do, like I said, you could do oysters, take open oysters or buy a gallon of oysters, make an oyster chowder this way, clams. So we're just taking our carrots, peeling, potatoes, onions.
Kind of a basic clam chowder. Celery, just like a regular old Boston white clam chowder. But what we do is we do it with the gooey duck clam instead of the regular clams. And we also make a cilantro pesto to put on the top at the end. And if you really want to be creative, you could also make a little puree of that roasted red pepper, which would make a really nice drizzle in the soup too. So you have the green and red. It would be a great thing at Christmas.
So we've got these carrots from the farmer's market here in Santa Monica. Look how beautiful those are. So I'm going to be cutting this into a dice. So again, it's all very methodical. Like take all these, cut them into pieces. Since I'm right-handed, I put it all to my left, and then I'm gonna cut it into strips. Now to cut it into strips, if I don't have a slicer, I cut a little bit off and then I lay it on its flat side so it's not rolling all around the table, because if I do something like this and it rolls, there's a good chance I'll cut myself. So I find a flat side, put it on that, and then I just cut strips. Same thing here. See how it's rolling? So I just want to cut a little bit off, then I lay it on its flat side.
In order to speed this up, I'm going to heat up some clam juice for the stew.
So then I've got all these strips, and then I put all those to my left again, and then I just start to cut these into strips like this, and I could just cut them all that way. It's almost like a production line. Mary Sue and I sort of kid about it. Must be because we're from the Midwest, from Detroit area.
And
so
Henry
we have.
Ford started it all with that automated assembly line, and that's how we picked it up, because we're from Toledo and Detroit.
And you try to figure out the way in which to do this sort of stuff that takes a long time as quick as possible. So I just cut all those into strips. Now I move those all to my left. Then I take those strips, get them in line, and then I'm dicing. And I want to dice them all about the same size. And so it's just, I do that rocking motion and then I push it off to the right.
Trying to get some heat there. We're having, now the wind's taking all the heat. We'll get there. So we put the onions with the I put some celery and a little bit of carrot and potato in there. We're just gonna make it. Yeah.
We're not going to cook those vegetables that long.
They're not cooking very fast at all.
So we're going to let those sweat a little bit, and then we're going to throw in.
Potato.
Oh yeah, and a potato too.
Yep. It could be either red or white.
Doesn't matter, yeah. You can
Yeah.
skin on, skin off, whatever. If skin on, you get more of the vitamins.
I don't know, but
Wash them.
yep.
Is it cooking it off?
I put the lid on to try to make it hotter. Oh, the purple carrot. Yeah, from the Santa Monica Farmers Market. It has it the inside is white, but it tastes just like a carrot. And you know, one of the things I always say too is to season each layer. So season the vegetables with salt and pepper, and then, you know, not enough for the whole dish, but just each layer as you're cooking so that everything tastes seasoned instead of at the end trying to season it all. Does it smell good?
Throw the potatoes in there.
Okay. And
Now, whenever you're going to toss something, you want to be able to, instead of like this, what you do is you push it towards the woman in the front row and then pull it back towards you. And that's the way, when we're walking in the kitchen, we're constantly walking by and flipping a bunch of different pans that we may not have a spoon, so we've got this tossing motion down so we can work. Part of the trick for us is to work as quick as we can and as efficiently, because we're producing for so many people.